Hello again, it's me, the guy with the YouTube channel. Today you're probably wondering, what is this whole background? Are you trying to kill everyone or something? Well, you're only half right. No, I have this background here today because today we're not reviewing kaiju figures, so I figured for all non-kaiju related reviews, we'll use this backdrop. I'll still use the old black one for kaiju related reviews. But anyways, story time over. Here's this figure. The end. No. Today we're reviewing the Max Factory Figma 179 Space Pirate Cobra. We're just gonna keep going on with the review. I'll explain the badness of that later. So here's the box. It's got Figma, we got Cobra. And if you're wondering about this figure, this is from an anime, this is from an anime and manga, which I'm going to go into the history of actually very briefly, because it's rather obscure, and literally everyone I've ever told that I watched this series to has no idea what this is. So Space Adventure Cobra is a TV series from the 80s, based off a manga, a sci-fi manga, which took elements from many different things, ranging all the way from spaghetti western movies to Disney, and yes, even Star Wars, took elements from all of those, made one big series. It's about a man who has a very average 9 to 5 business work life, and then finds out he's Cobra, this deadly famous space pirate with the psycho gun in his left arm. How he finds out, I don't want to say, because it's a great show. You should watch the original show, and I've read a little bit of the manga, and it's okay. And then they went and made a movie, and the movie was okay. I didn't really like it that much. And then there was another TV series, which was a sequel to the manga, called Cobra the Animation, which this was released in time with. So it's kind of what it's based off. It's got the figure on the side there, pictures of the figure on the back, stuff on the bottom, stuff on the top, picture of the figure, and there's a window. Now on to detail. It's very, very simple with this figure. He's just kind of a dude in a red jumpsuit with pirate boots. And really the only paint on the jumpsuit itself is the shading on his boots, which is very minimal, and you probably cannot make out very well. Yeah, you probably can't see very well, but there's a little bit of shading. It would have been cool if they were a really deep reddish brown like in the movie, but whatever. I didn't really like the movie design all that much anyway. Yeah, it's really just plain as a hole in his spine. Okay. There's his belt. It's a weird wrist thing and a fist. He's really freaking ripped. And we got the Psycho Gun. This is the famous weapon of the series. This is the Cobra the Animation version because it is very skinny and long. The other versions were usually pretty stocky and had a much different looking barrel, and the barrel was the same color as the gun. Silver barrel with a really deep hole. That ties in with an accessory that comes with another figure, which I sadly don't have because the figure that accessory comes with costs both my kidneys. And you can see his face, and there's a little white thingy because he's supposed to have a little cigar in there. When I threw him on in the beginning, that apparently snapped off. So I'm going to have to glue that back in, but you know what, we're going to keep going. He's got a little black line. The face sculpt doesn't really scream Cobra the Animation. It looks more like the original series, which is great, you know. 1 second, I forgot something, so, you know, yeah. Anyways, kind of a little bit like the manga, but yeah. Hair is completely yellow instead of more of a natural blonde look, which that's kind of what you had in Cobra the Animation. Instead, they just went all out yellow with the hair. Yeah, as you can see, there's red spray on his arms, overspraying from the jumpsuit. That's great quality control, Max Factory. I commend you for that. So yeah, detail is very, very simple. And for accessories, it's got a shish kebabs. I guess all of them. So for starters, we'll start with the accessory that he has, supposed to be kind of default. a cigar. Although, as you can see, the back peg snapped off, although mine was not actually pegged in, it was glued in because the peg previously snapped off on this. And I lost the second one because you get two of them. So, sadly, I'm probably going to have to glue that in after the review. So he also comes with all of these hands. We got these generic gripping hands, which I think all Figmas come with. Can't really hold any of the stuff he comes with these hands, so they're kind of pointless. These hands, which are also kind of pointless, they look like Woody's hands from Toy Story. These hands, which I actually kind of like, because they can actually grip more things than these gripping hands, and they're in a kind of unique pose. So you can kind of do things like wedge the cigar in between the fingers and whatnot. And we get a few specific hands, like we get fists. That wasn't a fist, but see, we get fists, obviously. And we also get this hand and a trigger hand. We also have this one hand which moves up and down, and this hand. They have purposes. This hand is meant for holding this accessory, is lighter. There's supposed to be a little insignia on it. It's not there, but it's very thin. There's a little bit of flame on it. It's probably very fragile. You can just kind of stick it in there. There you go. He also comes with, for his psycho gun, this, because he has a psycho gun hidden in his arm. So what you do is you take the barrel off, you take this little dummy arm here, and then you go around, you take a fist, and you just fit it in there, and you take, you're supposed to take this really wide open hand, and you just put it on here. There you go, he's taking his arm off. It's gotta hurt like fuck. So anyways, he also comes with his gun, his Python 77 Magnum. As you can see, this is not the Cobra the animation version. This is the original series version, because that version was all black. And this is the size of the original series version. The Cobra the animation version, which this should be, is silver with one black part on the handle, and I believe was a lot smaller than this. And the movie version was like this, but had a brown handle. So you can just take the trigger finger hand and wedge it in there, and it's really hard because, as you can see, this thing is painted, and the trigger finger hand, and all hands actually, are very stiff plastic, so you want to be careful with these. You just take that, put it in there, just put that in there, and there you go. He's got a gun. But he doesn't have a holster, but I rectified this, because you just dismember the poor bastard, and take this little holster here, and drop it, and get that on there like that, and there you go. We'll just leave it with the hand on it, because it fits, you know. And this hand, what this is meant for is you press it up against the psycho gun to look like he's gonna shoot it or something like that. And yeah, and he also comes with this alternate left arm, so you just take it off right there with this nice sturdy peg, and you put this on, and then it looks like he's got a different arm, or an actual arm on, and he has a Figma stand, which just pegs in that hole in his spine. Now he can have a stand, so that's great. And for articulation, the head is on two Figma style joints, so you can move all around, look up that far, down much farther, side to side a little bit, and rotate. Shoulders, similar Figma joints. There's a ball joint, a hinge, and a swivel. They can unpeg like that, and could probably swap out with other figures if you wanted to. I don't really know why you would, but they're your figures. You do what you want with them. You're spending your money on them. They rotate at the bicep, hinge in the elbows, which wiggles a little bit, hinge in the hands, which move up and down. A Figma joint, the upper part of the torso, just down that far, back that far, side to side, very minimally, and rotates. Ball joint in the lower part, down that far, back that far, side to side, rotates a little bit. Legs are on very weird joints. They're kind of like double ball joints. It takes a little getting used to, but once you get used to these joints, you can get some nice poses out of them. This piece right here is actually really soft plastic. You'd think it would tear, but it doesn't, so that's kind of cool. I don't know what kind of soft plastic they're using, but more companies need to use it. Forward that much, backward that much, close together that much, and it's weird to get them to do splits, but you can do it. Hinge in the knee, so it gets past 90 degrees, and ankle joints which swivel, hinge, pivot, and toes. So he's pretty well articulated, but there could be some more improvements articulation-wise. So for sizing, here's, I don't have anything to compare him to, so here's a ruler. As you can see, he is 6 and 3 little marks tall. Being real specific right there. So, yeah, let's just, oh, there's one more accessory I forgot to mention. This. Now, what you do with this is you get this little pointy bit in the seam in his head, and you pop his face off, and now you can have face cut off, dead. No, what you're actually supposed to do is you take this little hole, and get that over these little stems in the side of his head, and, oh, fuck. So what you can do is you can move his eyes around. See? Move his eyes around. And you can just kind of get him like that. It's actually really cool. Would have been cool to get an alternate face so he wasn't always like smiling or always with a cigar in his mouth, but whatever, you know. And so yeah, now on the final part of the, oh, I forgot to mention also one more thing. It comes with a little bag to put the accessories in. So on the final part of the review, history of the figure and pricing. This figure was originally released in 2013 to coincide with Cobra the animation, along with the Figma Lady Armor and Crystal Bowie. Those two figures are now so expensive you need to give up your heart to get those figures pretty much. And yeah, so I mean, this figure you can still get pretty easily. I think he got re-released shortly after, but Lady and Bowie did not. So this is the only figure that's okay to get, or at an okay price these days. I think Crystal Bowie's at a reasonable price these days too. So yeah, and for rating, I'm going to give this figure an 8 out of 10, just because there's a few issues with it. It could be better, you know, could do the series a little more justice, which if you haven't seen it, you know, just go buy DVDs. Buy DVDs. So yeah, that's it for this review. This figure, like I said, gets an 8 out of 10. So as I always say, Shimama Jamo means I accidentally ate the whole thing.